Guys, so we want to upgrade this light back here. It's an LED light already. It's actually a chip, but we want to change it to a daylight brightness. So what we got to do is we got to use a screwdriver. We're actually going to just stick it in through the side and pull it down, see if that'll work, which it did. And then to take it off, just got to pull it. Hold on. Hopefully. Okay guys, so you got your light, you got it off the vehicle, so you want to go ahead and take it apart now. So the first thing that we got to do is, if you look here on the sides, there's little clamps here where this actually grabs onto. You got to be able to pull it apart from here. Basically the board from the housing, it has clamps on both sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to use the screwdriver right here. We're going to stick it in, pull it up. You want to be really careful though, so you might actually have to use one hand and at the same time try to pry it up a little bit. There we go. And once you get it out, you're going to slide this from out of the board here. Oh, I'm sorry, slide the board out from right here, and then it'll come out. And right here we'll be exposing the chip. So the next part is going to be to remove the chip. Alright, so to try to get the chip out here, we're actually going to just use the screwdriver, see what this does. I've heard of other people chiseling it out with a hammer. I might need a smaller screwdriver than this one. I'm going to see if I can get one really quick. Okay, so we went ahead and we got a smaller screwdriver. As you guys can see, the difference is obviously way smaller. So now, let's see if we can pry it. Hopefully we don't break this. I'd rather not have to replace this whole board. Online, everybody says be really patient, take your time, so ready?
Yeah. Daddy's doing something. He's breaking it.
A piece of it.
The misunderstood that wants to play. Tom, you can get the big screwdriver so I can help you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Got the chip off. We should be have a exposed silver surface. We're gonna go ahead and try taking our 194 bulb or T10 bulb. We're gonna put it on the. We're gonna plug this back into the vehicle just as it is, and then we're gonna connect the wires on there to see if we can get them to activate. Okay, guys. So now that we're at the vehicle, we're gonna go ahead and put the board in. There you can see it's already activating. And it's just out. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and mark this so that way we know which side goes where before we take it back inside to solder it on. Alright. And just to test it one more time. marked this wire and the board, so we know we're gonna solder that to that. And if it doesn't work for you guys, let's say the light doesn't activate, like, okay, so we know this is gonna activate, but if, let's say you had it the other way around, it will not activate. If that happens, all you gotta do is just flip it around, try it out. It should work for you. All right. Okay, so we got our board right here set up. We have our light bulb, we have our soldering iron, the solder, the paste flux. So first thing we're gonna go ahead and try to do is we're gonna go ahead and try to cut the bulb. We're gonna use some wire crimpers, strippers. That worked great. Let's see if we can cut a little bit more of them. There we go. All right, so now that we got that cut down, we can go ahead and try to solder this on. So the reason being is that we cut it down so that we would fit nicely on the board. Since we are going to put this back on the vehicle, and we are going to be using the, obviously the shroud, we still want to try to keep that in for some light reflection, but from what I've read online, it won't fit, and as you guys can see, it won't fit here. So we got to make sure that we solder this on the correct way. Not only that, we got to make sure that, well, we're actually going to have to Dremel this out a little bit, or we might even be able to use a drill bit just to get a little bit more off, but most likely we'll be using a Dremel here just to make the opening a little bit wider so that we can get the light bulb fit in there. So first off, what we want to do here is we want to make sure that the bulb is facing the correct way to be able to fit back into the housing. So we know that the bulb is going to have to be facing the connector just by looking at it, well, seeing the pattern here. The bulb is going to be facing this way, which is towards where the connector is. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and get started with attempting to solder. Trying to get this positioned at a comfortable angle. I just need something to hold it down. Go ahead and pick up the solder. And I'm going to place this on here, put the solder down.
Two hours later. Oh God, please no!
Oh, it's not sticking though. Why won't it stick?
Great success!
So as you guys can see, we got both points soldered onto the board there. So now we're gonna go ahead and just test it out to make sure that it's actually gonna activate, and then that way we can go ahead and start with dremeling down the reflector housing. Alright guys, so now that we're back inside the vehicle, same thing as earlier, put the pins in, there we go, lights activating, that's great. Now we can go ahead and get started with using the Dremel to get the reflector housing trimmed down. Okay guys, so we got our Dremel with a disc on it. This disc is specifically for metal. Let's go ahead and give it a shot though. We're gonna start on the lowest setting. So slowly come alive when we're faded. The summer nights that we're chasing. Want this feeling to last forever. so we're gonna see if we can fit it in now. Of course, this isn't the cleanest job, but then again, nobody's ever gonna see the inside of this again, so that's all right. Not looking for pretty, I guess, on the inside. Just looking for it to be pretty installed. All right, so let's see. Not quite. Not quite. We need to trim down a little bit more inside of there. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We might use a different attachment just to push in there a little bit better. Okay, guys, so as you can see, I'm using a different attachment here. This one's more of a sanding attachment, but we're gonna go ahead and go inside of it. We'll try to get inside of it, see if we can, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so as you guys can see, it definitely made a quick and big impact right off the bat. Let's go ahead and see if we can get the bulb back in there. Sure. See what we can do. Well, it looks like we're able to force it in there. As you guys can see, well, let's see. Try to get a different angle. You guys can see the lights pretty much popping out right there now. Right now we're just gonna try it one more time just to make sure it fits on the vehicle, and then we'll go ahead and do the other side, which has 2 chips on it, I believe, because it has 2 switches. But let's go ahead and try this out one more time. Alright guys, so we're back inside of the vehicle here. We're gonna go ahead and try to plug this in if we can. Might have to push this down a little bit further. There we go. Bam! LED lighting. Well, sorry, daylight LED lighting. The other lights were LEDs, but they're not as bright as this. All right, so we can go ahead and get this installed, and then we'll start with the next side. So the connector back there is a real pain in the butt. It doesn't come out very easily. It kind of just came out when I was trying to take it out, but my wife has smaller fingers. She's trying to plug it in. So we'll see how we can get that done.
I was just pushing it in.
We got it plugged in, but my wife had to put her hand all the way in, and she literally stuck her whole hand in there. So now we're trying to wiggle it out without disconnecting it again.
My hand's fine.
Alright, so you just push that in. There you go. Boom! Nice. Great job, honey. Appreciate you. Alright guys, let's go ahead and head back inside, see if we can do the other side. So right here we have our middle sorry, that was one of my daughters. Right here we have our middle map light, interior light. So in this one it has 2 switches, which leads me to believe that there's 2 LEDs in here, which I obviously, why would it have both then? So same thing here. We are gonna try something different though. We're gonna see with butter knives if this will help us. I heard sticking a butter knife, I guess, on each side of this and on this side, but you know what, that seems like more work to me. So I'm just gonna try to pull this, and at the same time, I'm gonna pull this out, at the same time pull this up slightly. Try to get it to release. And then I'll do the other side. Just gonna get a screwdriver. We're gonna, like I said, we're still gonna pull this on the other side now. And we're gonna use a screwdriver to help force it up. There we go. Moment of truth. Let's see. Boom. See? 2 LEDs. That's kind of what I was concerned about. As you guys can see here, the housing looks like an alien's face, or maybe a praying mantis face or something. Which is kind of good. We'll see if we can, maybe we can still solder 2 LEDs in here. I'm sorry, not just solder them, if we can actually install 2 LEDs here, so we can put them on both sides. Let's go ahead and see if we can do that. Of course, what we're gonna have to do here is we're gonna have to take off the chip. So what I was doing was wrong at the beginning here. I was actually trying to take off the whole chip from the board, but we're just pretty much taking off the facing of the LED here, which is soldered onto there. Let's go and try doing that right now. You know what, where's our smaller screwdriver? We'll get our small screwdriver. So we went ahead and we got our small screwdriver, put on some gloves. Alright guys, we got this this half exposed here. Let's see if you can see it. So now we're gonna work on getting the other LED chip exposed. Okay guys, so we went ahead and got our disc on, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're actually gonna go cut off in between the alien's eyes, right here, so we can have hopefully enough room to get our lights in. So here we go. There we go.
Easy peasy.
So now, as you guys can see, we have a big enough room to where both lights can fit. Of course, like I said earlier, we are going to trim them down so that way they can fit in pretty snugly there. So first, before we start soldering, we're going to go ahead and do our polarity test. So we're going to take both bulbs out to the vehicle, try them on the board, and then mark them so that we know which side is which. Alright guys, we're back in the vehicle here. So we're going to go ahead and put this pins in. You guys can see the little LEDs for powering. Activating the switches are on right now. There we go. Great. So the LED light on this side is going to be marked. We're also going to mark the light just like that, just in case. So we're going to get our other light, this one down. Okay, we got our other LED. First try, great. Alright, let's mark this one on the opposite side. And just to be sure. Yep. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take this back inside Solder both ends, both LED lights back in. All right, guys, back again. Oh, cool. All right, let's just keep them activated for a couple seconds. Should be good. All right, guys. Alright guys, so what we had to do is we ended up having to take out the reflector housing. The lights were too big, as you guys saw. They were both clicking in. So what we did here is we just we took it out and then we just kind of slid the bulbs in side by side, so that way, I don't know if you guys can see it too well. So there you go, it's a little bit better. They're side by side. So right now we're gonna go ahead and put them on the vehicle, make sure they work, and then snap them in, we'll be good. Alright guys, so we're back inside the vehicle. We're gonna go ahead and plug this in. There we go, both lights are activating. There we go. So right now we're gonna go ahead and close the vehicle up, and we're gonna try to activate the lights independently, see if they're both working. So we turn off the backlight, so we know that's working, so that's great. Left side, right here, on, off. Right side, on, off. Great. We're good to go, guys. We finished the project. Thanks, guys, for watching the video. If you guys did like it, I hope you subscribe, like the video, please. I appreciate all the support. Any sort of comments you guys have, feedback. I know I'm not great at soldering. I mean, I've kind of just picked it up trying to figure it out. So if you guys have pointers on that, I'd appreciate that as well. All right, guys. Well, once again, thanks for watching. God bless and take care.